Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode here in NHL 21. So in last episode we took on the Montreal Canadiens in the first round of the playoffs, and we lost the series unfortunately in 6 games. It was mostly due to us allowing quite a bit of goals, which was uncharacteristic of us because during the regular season we were one of the best defensive teams. But then the playoffs happened and our goaltending just shot the bed pretty much. As you can see here, Rohan Howes did not play a lot this season because he missed a lot due to injury, but in the playoffs he put up an .845 save percentage and a 4.66 goals against average, which is very, very bad by comparison to his season in 2028-29. So we're probably going to trade away Rohan Howes in this episode, and we might run Nguyen as our starter for next season because he is actually listed as a starter, and he's had some actually really good seasons as a backup. I'm hoping he could be a good starter as well. If not the case, we might have to make some trades to find a better goaltender. But yeah, that's basically what I am thinking for this episode. Now, we do have a few comments I'd like to go over before we get into the draft. So the first one is from WMRA, which is Poltergeist, in case you guys didn't know. He says, I think Howes should be traded. Posting a 6-6-3 record is not as good for a starting goaltender. I think Howes might be having a decline. Think about it, he was probably the reason you guys kept barely making the playoffs, but getting blown out of the water. Nguyen seems to be like he would be a fine starter, but I don't think he could handle all of that pressure just yet. Nguyen should share starts with another goaltender, not Howes or Mui, but a well-performing backup who could be acquired via free agency or from another team by trading Howes, which I totally agree with. But kind of an interesting thing is actually Mui was actually simulating really well. I didn't realize before we put him back down to the minors. Like if I go here, Mui, even though he's like a 75, he actually had a pretty good goals against average and save percentage. So I don't know if it's just because our team is a strong defensive team that he was playing that good, but we might not need that good of a backup for Nguyen if we are to trade away Rohan Howes, which we probably will be. Now, the other comment we have to go over is from HawksFan88, which was actually from the previous episode. The other comment was from a couple episodes ago. So HawksFan says, I think it's time to look for a new coach because of your lack of playoff success. This team has the pieces to go far. You just need the coach that could pull it all together, which I totally agree with. We're just going to have to find a coach that actually has a pretty good scheme fit if possible. And then also I was asking HawksFan if we should move on from anybody, and he said that we should move on from Howes for sure. Other than that, he says we should re-sign everybody except for Gabriel Landeskog, who's dropping off a lot, which I agree with as well. As you can see, Landeskog has dropped down to an 83, and yeah, his point production went way down from an 80-point season to a 55-point season. So we're probably going to be letting him go to free agency this year, just because he's probably going to be even lower than an 83 to start next season. And it also opens the roster spot for our youngster in Mitchell Tucker, who should be jumping to the NHL this season. And then, yeah, we're going to definitely probably be trading away Rohan Howes because his cap hit is for another 2 seasons. So it's not that bad, but we need to eventually free up some cap space. So we're going to eventually trade Howes in this episode. So let's get into the draft. There is a lot of interesting players in this draft. There was one player that was a low elite that was supposed to go in the 7th round that looked really intriguing that I'm going to be drafting for sure. Maybe as early as the 6th round or the 5th round. But as you can see, this guy here, Andrew Garrison, I showed you guys, I think, in last episode or the episode before. But he has a 2-year ETA, and he's got some really good attributes. So that guy is definitely going to be drafted by us because we definitely could use the winger help. So yeah, we're going to definitely draft that guy. I think we're also going to draft a lot of defensemen because we don't have a great defensive prospect pool anymore. Just in case one of our big top 6 D-men go, like who knows, Wall could be out on his way out eventually because he is kind of underplaying in the playoffs. So okay, let's get into his draft. So Carolina's got number 1, so they're getting a franchise player. Ottawa number 2, Colorado number 3, Toronto number 4, and Boston number 5. We're all the way up here at, where was it? We do have our first rounder, right? Yeah, 19, okay. So not too bad. And yeah, let's sim these first few picks. So Carolina is going to take Brizgalov, franchise power forward. That's a really nice pickup for them because they did trade us Svechnikov a few years ago. So they now have a really good goal scorer in Brizgalov. Ottawa at number 2 is going to take Nicholas, who's a medium elite defenseman. Right-handed shot, so that's pretty nice for them. Colorado at number 3 is going to take Komisarek, who's another defenseman. Interesting. More of a defensively minded guy, I think, by comparison to Nicholas. Maybe they're the same. Toronto at number 4 is going to take Bergevin, who's a power forward, 81 overall. That's a nice pickup for them. This guy had 54 goals in Shawinigan of the QMJHL. So that guy's probably going to be a really good goal scorer as well. And the 5th overall pick is Sundstrom, who's a top 6 forward. So this draft might be a little bit weak after this top 4, which is not great. But who knows, maybe we can find something decent. Okay, at number 19, there's a defenseman. We'll probably go with the defenseman since the scout recommends this, but there is a sniper who's a medium top 6. But he doesn't look like he has the greatest attributes, so I don't know if this guy would actually pan out. He's got really good shooting, but his puck skills are pretty bad. His senses are decent, and then his rest of his stuff aren't great. But there is a Simon Dumfus, who's a 17-year-old right-handed defenseman. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with the defenseman, even if this guy's like a top 60. I hope he's a top 4, though. But we need defensive prospects just because we don't really have a lot of them. So, yeah, let's bring in Simon Dumfus. And he is a top 4 defensive defenseman, 65 overall, so that's a pretty decent pick. This guy's already got 86 defensive awareness, which is really good. So, this guy might be a really good shutdown player for the future. He could actually play alongside somebody like Biggs, potentially, down the road. Let's zoom to our next pick, which is at number 95. Actually, wait, let me take a look. When do we have our other picks? Okay, so we're going to be not drafting till the 4th round now. So I think with our 5th round pick, we'll grab that guy that was supposed to go in the 7th round. Just because I want to be safe that he doesn't go early. I don't think he will, but just to play it safe. So we have 2 4th round picks. Let's see what we could get. We could get a goaltender prospect. That's not a bad option to do, but we do already have some. There's also another defenseman that could be medium elite, and Kim Raquel. He doesn't look great. Yeah, I feel like this draft is a really bad draft by comparison to some of the other ones. It's like finding a needle in a haystack when it comes to good players. Literally a haystack because there's hater right there. Walker Lowe. He's probably got a low overall. Bobby Allos. He doesn't look bad. Yeah, I don't know really what we want to go with at this stage. Yeah, well, let's just go with Lassie Granlund, because why not? We could use some more wingers. Top 9, not great. And yeah, I think we'll take the low lead in the 5th round. We'll just take random players around this stage. Maybe this defenseman. He doesn't look great. He's got good shooting, but I don't know. There's also Lees, Harvey Lees. Harvey Lees looks okay. You know what? We're going to take Harvey Lees. And he is a medium 7th D, but he's got a 60 overall, which is kind of weird. So with this 5th round pick, I think we're already going to take that low league guy, and then I think the rest of it will just auto sim, because this draft looks pretty bad in terms of depth. So we're going to take Andrew Garrison way before he was supposed to go, just because why not? 5'9", 175, so he's a small guy, but he's only 17, so he could probably grow, and he's already got some good attributes. Let's take Andrew Garrison, and he's a 72 low elite playmaker. Damn, that is actually insane of an overall. This guy was supposed to go in the 7th round, and this guy could have easily been a 1st round pick, because he's only 17 and he's already 72. Here's his attributes. He's got already some good puck skills. His senses aren't great, I would say, right now. His shooting is not bad. His defense ain't bad either, which is good. His skating is pretty solid, and his physical is average. So he's kind of all around a solid player. And since this guy was in the United States, we're going to already sign him for an AHL contract. And hopefully he tears it up in the AHL. I could have drafted him in the 7th round, but I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to be better in the 7th round to grab. Like, let me take a look. There's a low elite potentially here. He doesn't look great. I'm going to see if there's any other steals potentially. Oh, that guy had A senses potentially, but the rest of it's not good. Yeah, I think we're just going to auto-sim the rest of this draft. Maybe not. Edward Fugafuji might be okay. Yeah, you know what? We're going to go with Edward Fugafuji. He's already 19, but still looks pretty decent. He's a bottom 6. That's not good. And our final pick of the draft. Gentile. Yeah, I think the rest of this is just crap. This guy might be okay. We'll just take Jas, because, okay, why not? He's a low top 9, not bad, I guess. So a pretty successful draft, I would say, because that defenseman we drafted in the first round is pretty good. We didn't have really a lot of picks, and then we also got that really good steal that could have went even all the way in the 7th round, but we decided to take him a little bit earlier in Garrison. So I'm pretty happy with that draft, I would say, because we do have now some extra players that could end up making the NHL club at some point. And kind of interesting enough, Hawks fan mentioned about our coach maybe finding a new one. Well, our head coach is up for renewal this offseason, which is actually perfect. I don't know if I showed you guys that in the last episode, and that's why you brought it up. But we are not going to re-sign Daniel Brisebois. We're going to look and see if we could find a new head coach. The reason being is Daniel Brisebois, he was good during the regular season, but his playoff numbers were not good at all. So we're going to find a new head coach this offseason. Okay, so let's go to our contract situation. So unsigned-wise, Garrison's going to already get signed for the AHL. Very excited to see how he performs this season. And in RFA-wise, we are going to sign Dingman to a blockbuster contract, probably. Actually, how much cap space do we have? 34 million. Let me just go down to this and qualify some of these AHL guys, because they will eventually just sign. I just want to make sure we have a decent amount of cap space to get everybody that we want back. Like I said, Landeskog is on his way out for sure. Savonin also wants a decent contract. I'll have to probably do the 85% rule on some of these guys. Let me just check the UFAs and go to the bottom of this list to see who we could let go of. So Parker was a 3rd round pick. He doesn't look bad. I'm going to sign him, I think, for the AHL. Do we have the contracts room? Yeah, we probably do. I just want to make sure we get the best prospects signed first. So, Semyonov, we'll let go of some of these AHL guys, I think. We're definitely going to sign Hobbs because he was a 1st round pick of ours. Yeah, I think we're going to let go of some of these older guys that were in the AHL. Because why not? Morales is going to come back because Morales has been an insane AHL player for us. Samson's going to get signed for sure as well. And Parker's going to get signed as well for the AHL. And then Klubertons, I could see maybe getting him back. And then let's go to our NHLers. So, Landeskog. Oh, wait, I didn't trade away Rohan House now. God damn it. I meant to trade away Rohan House. I could still do that at free agency. Oops. It completely escaped my mind. But we are going to sign Nguyen. Let me just do the... Oh, my God. Okay, maybe we aren't going to sign Nguyen. Or I might be able to sign him afterwards. So let's just take a look at first who we have to get back. Damn, I wish I would have traded away Howes now. Oh, why did I forget about doing that? Okay, so Yakupov was a depth defenseman. We'll see if we can get him back on a cheap deal. Perrin's a cheap player as well. We'll try and offer him like 1,300. Fitzpatrick, I could always let go of. He wants a 2-way deal, so you know we're gonna just give him a 2-way deal if he wants it. Xavier Jenner, 1 year at 1,500. Maybe you could get that done. I'm gonna let go of Liam Hallwell for now as well, but he might be one of those depth pickups that we want to get back. Petrovic wants barely anything as well. We could easily afford him. And then Buckley's gonna be the most expensive one probably here. Yeah, we're gonna let go of Landeskog because yeah, he wants too much and he's gonna drop off. So thank you for your time here, Gabe. Best of luck in free agency. And Buckley, I'm gonna leave Buckley for the time being. I'm going to re-sign Mui, and I'm gonna sign Turkov to his entry-level deal. And then RFA wise, let's get Dingman. I could qualify Dingman and try and get him for less, but I kind of want to sign him long term. Because if we do 10.24, I'm going to have to bring up a calculator here. Because that way I could actually see if I could get him on like a 80% rule or whatever it's called. So if we're going to do 10.240, I got to do this on a calculator. And we do times 0.80. We should be able to get him for 8 years at 8.19, or a little bit above that. Actually, yeah, 8.2 we should be able to get him for, which I think is a steal of a contract. And then Savonin, I want to also get him back. He wants 4.81, or 4.481. So we do this. Sorry, this is weird using a calculator at the same time as I'm doing a video. So we'll do times 0.8% or 0.80. We could probably get him for 3.872, which I think is okay. I'll give him a 3-year deal because he's definitely worth it. Yeah, we'll give him 3.875. And that's good. Let me just advance a day and see if we get those guys first. Oh, some people are rejecting, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so Dingman rejected and Savonin rejected. I guess Dingman just doesn't want an 8-year contract. I'll give you 8 years at 8.8. And then Savonin, I'll give you the 3-year deal. Talk you down a little bit to 4.6. And those guys are all qualified. UFA wise, we're still waiting on these guys. I'll see if I could get them for what they're asking, because they're pretty cheap players. I could give even Fitzpatrick a one-way deal because it doesn't really matter that much. It's only like 1.2 that I could give him. And then Xavier Jenner, he's dropping off a little bit. He might be one of these guys that retire like at 33 years old because he was a 7th round pick. We'll do 2.3 for 1 year. See if we could get all those guys back. God damn, some of them are still rejecting. So Yakubov rejected and Dingman is still rejecting that contract. I guess he doesn't just not want to be locked up long term, but I want him locked up long term. Because him and, Matthews are the future of this team. Eventually we might have to move on from Svechnikov though. Okay, and I need to get those goalies. So I'm going to get Mui a contract, but I am going to be trading away Rohan House in this episode, I think, right after this. Just, let's see, actually I'll just give him the 6.25, see if he does that. Mui's rejecting. Mui, I'll give you $1 million, which is a decent contract. We could always replace Yakupov, so I'm not worried about Yakupov. Buckley, I still would like to get him in back. Let's give him 4.2 for 1. And everybody renewed except for probably Dingman, right? Yeah, Dingman is still holding out. I could qualify Dingman and get him for 1 year and less, and then try and get him back in the season for less. Might be a possibility there. Let's try and get Yakupov to accept like 1.5. Because I would really like to get as much of these players back as possible. Should I just do the 4-year deal? Yeah, you know what? We'll just do the 4-year deal that he's asking and give him less money. But he's definitely going to be one of these guys that we have to bring back after these 4 seasons. And that should be good enough. He's going to reject it again. God damn, man. Okay, we're going to just qualify Dingman. He's going to eventually accept or go way low on money, but we're definitely going to re-sign him. And okay, so what does the roster look like going into the free agency? So we currently have Rohan House and Nguyen and Mui. Like I said, I think House's time is done, so we're going to trade him away. Defensively, though, in terms of overalls, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and our 7th D-man. That's good. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential players there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so we're really good on the forward count, and we are good defensively. And then we just have to trade away House. So we just need to wait on Dingman to actually sign. I don't know if we even need to make really any free agent signings, but I will still leave that up to you guys. So let's sim to free agency. And Lawrence and all those guys are going to accept. And we are going to have to find a new coach as well. So we got a lot to still do. So we got to take a look. We're going to definitely give Dingman an extension. Is he asking for less yet? Probably not. Oh, he has dropped his asking price. We'll just give you what you want. See if he'll accept that or not. But let's see. Okay, let's take a look at some potential trades we could do for Rohan House. I kind of wish I traded him away at the draft, but it doesn't really matter that much. So Rohan House, what can we get for you? Just like 4th and 5th round picks, which is not really a whole lot for a starting goaltender, but we are going to do one of these. We don't want to really ship him to an Eastern Conference team. So it's either going to be like Anaheim, Arizona, LA, San Jose. I think I'm going to trade him to the Anaheim Ducks. Yeah, we're going to send you to Anaheim. So best of luck, Rohan. You've been a very good player for us for a couple of years, but you've been falling off a cliff to an extent, and we wish you nothing but good luck in Anaheim. Tough move to do that because I don't like trading players that I draft really that often, but we had to do it. We could run with Mui as our backup next season, but we could always find a new backup in free agency if you guys think it is necessary. So that is that. Let's take a look at the coaches that are out there, so you guys could let me know about which coaches we should bring in, because we do need a head coach. So in terms of head coaches, actually I didn't want to go to scouts. Why did I go to scouts? God damn. Let's take a look at coaches. So, in terms of scheme fit, right now, 55%. Marvin Birch might not be bad, but he does, he utilizes everybody decently. Yeah, maybe he might be the best option is Birch. How much money do we have? We only have like $2 million towards a head coach. Man, this budgeting thing is super annoying when it comes to coaches, because you can never find a good coach for a cheap contract. There's a 51%. Jerome Savard, not great. He's not asking for a whole lot. Yeah, Jerome Savard might be the best option for us. So we'll remember him from next episode. His coaching stats with San Jose and Ottawa have not been great. And he's not been great in the playoffs, but I don't know. He could still probably fit with this team better. There's another 55% in Mario Plus, who's an associate coach. I don't know if he would work as an NHL head coach, but this guy might be good. Mario Plus is another option. There's another 51% in Yves Vienneau. Okay. And 53% Ryan Getzlaf as a head coach. I don't know if I want Getzlaf as a head coach. Oh, there's another 55% in Ruben Little. Oh yeah, this guy I was looking at before. Yeah, Ruben Little might be a good option as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for head coach options. Okay, let's take a look at the free agency and also see what's out there on the trading block, and then that'll be it for this episode. So there's a lot of stuff you guys have to let me know about for next episode of who we should bring in and whatnot. So in terms of forwards, we don't really need any forwards, but there is some of the forwards available. Burmistrov, who was in Montreal that just eliminated us, is a free agent at 26 years old, but he wants a lot of money, a lot of term. There's also guys like Dylan Larkin in terms of centers. I don't really think we need to bring in any forwards, but if you guys see anybody here that could definitely help us out, let me know, because I could always bring in somebody. And then left wing wise, Christian Vesalainen's the best left winger. But there seems to be a lot of decent players out there. Like White Claire is a 26-year-old as well. Wants a lot of money. Does not fit our team, but still. We should actually check for potential players as well while we're at it. Right wing wise, we're getting Dingman back. We have our offer for him. Not a lot on the right wing front. Defensively, we don't really need anything either. But there is some good defenders out there like Weston, for example. This guy's, yeah, an RFA, so never mind about him. It always seems like there's a lot of RFAs that like try and hold out, which is really annoying. And then goaltending wise, if we want to bring in a new backup goalie instead of Mui, since now that we traded away House, let's see, there's like some 79s here. There's like Tuzolino, Warren Tuzolino from the Canucks. There's Virtanen. Yeah, there's a lot of decent enough backups that we could find a new backup, like John Knight, for example. If this guy's not an RFA, which he's not. He's a high fringe starter, 79. So there's definitely some backup options out there. A medium elite who's 24 and 79, and a UFA. Interesting. Let's take a look at potential players, see if there's anybody out there that has not been drafted by a team. There's a low elite that's 20 years old in Tursunbayev, who was a 5th round pick, but he was still let go of some reason by Ottawa. There's also Wong, who's a 69, 19-year-old and low elite, and he was undrafted. Well, this guy as well is very intriguing. I'm already going to offer him a contract for the HL. Actually, do I have the contract space? I almost don't. So we got to maybe let go of some players in order to get this guy. But Michael Wong looks like a really good player. A low elite grinder that went undrafted and is a 69 low elite. Damn, Doogie would have killed for that. There's another low elite potentially that was undrafted as well. Marco Spooner. Damn. Some good undrafted players. How about defensively? Any good undrafted defenseman? Does not look like it. There's a 19-year-old low top 4 that was undrafted. Okay. There's definitely some good undrafted players out there if we want to bring those in. And finally, let's take a look at the trading block and see what is out there. And then that will be it for this episode. I don't know if we're going to really make any trades this offseason since we already just traded away House. But if you guys want me to bring in anybody as like maybe depth options, let me know. But I am really excited to see how this team is when we get like a new head coach and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if it was the coach that was the problem or what. He probably was, because when I was looking at his like career playoff stats, he's lost every single playoff round. It looked like he never went super far in the playoffs before. So it could have been that reasoning that we lost. Wow, there's like some big guys out there in Edmonton on the trading block, but nobody we really want to trade for, I don't think. Wow, Cyrus Hawes is on, that's one of their goalies. Wasn't this guy really good at one point? Yeah, this guy's a good goaltender, but Minnesota wants to move on from him because they're paying him $11.5 million. I don't blame them for wanting to trade him then. That's really expensive. I'm never paying that much for a goaltender. Because I know goaltenders that make like less than $2 million could win a Stanley Cup, so. Logan Stanley, we don't need defensemen now. Looks like mostly just picks and guys that we don't really need at this stage. But if you guys still see anybody, just let me know. Maybe there's guys for the future that we could bring in. There you go. Defensively, Toronto. Nothing on the block. There's like literally nothing almost on these blocks. Carter Hart is still kicking around. He's still making $12 million as an 82 for one more season. And he's been playing backup. No, he's been playing... Oh my god. He played 72 games and he had 19 wins. Damn, that is really bad. Damn, poor Vegas. We did make a trade with them last couple episodes ago to get to Kaiser, so... There's that, and I think that's it. Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to free agency. We might make some trades if you guys think they are necessary, and we will find our new head coach. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.